Okay, now in this video we're gonna resume our work. So we're gonna have to make this area enable when we got the response successfully from the message controller. Here we have to make the condition, like as usual, it will be resp.status. If it is equals to 1, then which means we have a successful response from the user. So in the if, let me remove the else. We do not need else in this condition. The very first thing that we have to do is to capture this, and it have an ID of message. This section have a form ID, create message form, and the body is message body, the above one. Let me target that one. We will gonna say message body dot empty. We have to make it empty because if we are switching between the chat, we do not want to show the previous chat history. HTML, then we have to update it with resp.txt, the messages that we just got from the database for this specific new chat. Second thing, we have to create the variable, whatever name you want to give. I will gonna give object div, and we will gonna use document dot get element by id, the JavaScript, and I will gonna say msg body, the same body target, and we will gonna save it in the variable. Now we can say if there is one condition that we have to set, math, it's another JavaScript library, seal. Now we have to check the scroll, because what we are going to achieve here is when we click any of this, it will load the messages here, and then our scroll will be on top. So what we need, our scroller to be on the very bottom, so we see the latest one. Got it? So in order to achieve that part, we are going to add one condition, which would be a little lengthy one. Message body dot scroll top. It's a Jquery function. We are adding a value from message body, same element, but this time inner height. If it is greater equals to obj, the one that we just stored, dot scroll height minus random number that will gonna give us a good margin. If this is the case, or if first is true. So in both cases we need to make a scrolling, and for that what we have to do, we have to say obj div dot scroll top is equals to obj div dot scroll height. Pretty complex one, right? But you will gonna understand it if you will look into it. And another thing is we have to target a form, create message form dot find message dot prop, disable false, copy paste it, and now this time find create message, which is the button, and also make it enable. Now if I refresh here and see if it is working, no, we have invalid error, something like is equals to. Okay, it was not just is equals to, and yep, we got the response and it is now enabled, both of them. If I refresh again, this is not disabled by default, so let me make it disable as well. We will gonna have to go to our home.blade, I think, and here we have to make it disabled. Close it, go back to our, it must be disabled now. So if I click John, both are enabled. If I wanted to write something, and there is one more thing I wanted to tell you guys here. Remember, we are parsing the chat ID and the limit and the token, all the other parameters from the function. So what we can do for the chat ID and token, we can check if they are not set, then we can just directly get it from the element ID, and for that we can just simply say if c_id, which is chat ID, is equals to null if it is null, or c_id is equals to empty. In both condition, just do this: c_id, create a variable, the same name, and then just get the value from chat ID. Oh well, the same chat ID we have in here. You see, this is, we are updating when we click on the chat item. So if this variable is empty, then we can simply get it directly from there. And same thing for the token. I will gonna just copy this condition instead of writing, and I will gonna say tk, which is token. If token is null or token is empty, then we can just trigger create form. Basically it was message form, then find input name is equals to token dot well, and then we will get our token. So that's one step of layer to make it more better. And now we can work on sending a message, and after that our system will be in a proper structure. Then we will work on advanced things like new messages, seen message, typing. We will gonna implement that as well, like who's typing and what chat is active, and so on and so on. So there's a lot of work in a pipeline that we have to complete. It's just a structure so far. Believe me, all the work that we have been doing from last 13 videos is just to develop the structure. So now we will gonna start on that. So to write the message, we're gonna scroll up in here. After click, we can just copy this code, paste it here, body, click, and this time we're gonna target the button create message, and when it is clicked, we would copy all this for this, that is better, and paste it here, and we're gonna make changes as per we need it. This will be same and this will be same because we want to show the refreshing icon, and we have to change this to create message form. This will be MSG, and we will gonna say MSG, the message itself, the text. And there will be one more thing, chat ID, to which this message will gonna go, and we have a chat ID. And in Ajax request, we will gonna create a message route later on, and we will gonna say message would be message, token would always be token, and CID underscore ID, which is chat ID. So these three things we're gonna go. We will gonna work on these two. A token is just for the verification, as always. After it will done, this part will be same. We would not need this part, and else if part I don't know yet, but for now just keep it like this way. We will gonna change it later on, but now we have to create this route, and the route name is message. Come over here in the message route, let me just copy this and remove this with the message, simple one. Message controller it would be, and it would be store. So save this route, head to our message controller in our store, and one thing in here, you see I removed this fail, but I shouldn't have to, because we will gonna get error if our session got expired and we are on the same page and hit the Ajax request. But instead of this, we will gonna send the message in a different way, because we don't have this element in our message section. And also we're gonna make the button disable, as well as text field TF we will say, and which would be this. We will gonna make TF disable as well. TF disable, as well as make it empty. Both these two things. So back to our message controller, store section, and here we will gonna set the validation again. Validate request, second parameter would be the rules, and we are gonna use two rules. One message, it should be required, and second would be the C underscore ID, the chat ID. They both should be required. Let me see. Yeah, we have included auth, so we can directly say any name of the message and auth user, and then the ID. So current user, in short, CU, and we got the ID. Now we have to create a new message, right? So we're gonna say MSG message, new MSG, the model, and MSG message is equals to request MSG. Let me copy it, paste it several times so I do not have to write it again. User ID would be CU, chat ID would be request C underscore ID, and seen is equals to 0, which means not yet seen. But there is one thing I wanted to do here. MSG, after saving it, MSG save. Now if you go to our, refresh our database in Laravel, if we go to our message table, we see the structure. There is no column for the scene because we forgot to add one column, which is scene, and we can do it through Laravel here, scene, or we can just directly create here a new field, so it wouldn't be a problem. After user ID, we will gonna create one field. It would be boolean, name would be scene. By default it would be 0, just for the sake of double checking. And now we have scene as well. So after saving it, I will go ahead and set the condition if not empty the message. Then now we can send response, same thing again, status is equals to 1, response txt as usual is equals to like successfully created a new message. And another thing, response object obj in short, the whole message object. Else we can just copy all this here, paste here. Status would be 0, something went wrong would be the message, and object will obviously be not there. Return JSON encode resp. If we come back to our Jquery file, so if the status is 1, we can remove all this, and we can remove this as well. The very first thing that we will have to do is to make our TF empty. Rather than empty, make it, because it is a field, so this should be the proper way. Now we have to load a new messages. New message load. C underscore chat ID, the chat ID, the token, and the one. And I will just gonna copy the entire thing and paste it here with the new thing appended. Now there's slightly change. We do not need a limit, only need a token, chat ID, and we will gonna check me or not. So by default it would be someone else, not me. Same condition, but this time new message list, a new route that we're gonna create, and limit, instead of limit I will gonna say me. Token, everything would be same. So let's go ahead and create this new route. I will gonna copy this one, and I will gonna say new, and new here as well. Same thing, same procedure, head to the message controller, and I will gonna copy this whole function, paste it over here, and I will gonna say new underscore. We would have to check is equals to auth user, so we can get a logged in user, and we can check if me is equals to 1, which means it is true. If it is true, simply write our query like message where, remove all this for now, where scene is equals to 0. So get the message which is equals to 0. Again another where clause, and where user ID is equals to $me ID my ID, because if it is my message, just gonna get the my message order by descending. And one more thing, only take the latest one, take one, the one which I just typed. Else we will gonna copy both of these conditions. Instead of this, we're gonna paste it here where scene is equals to 0. This condition will be same, and user ID should not be mine, because if the me is 0, which means someone else send it, and if someone else send it, we have to get the message of the person who is not me, and order by need to be removed. It would be simply get, and we have this here, remove it. Now we will gonna check if count messages, if these are greater than 0, the return messages. If they are greater than 0, then we can just copy, actually cut it, paste it here. Response will be 1, and view would be message list, and same thing. Else we can just send a response to, which would be mean something else. Save it. Let's go back to our custom.js. If response is 1, just one thing, append. Instead of all this, append risk.text. Save it, go back, and let's check this time. Okay, it seems like we already got an error. Message controller, line number 45. Where is it? The 45 line number. Aha. Okay, so is equals to was missing. Okay, so it just successfully got here. And now if I say first message, I don't know if this will gonna work. It's look like it just worked. Great. See, if I just close this, and if I say second message from me, okay, this is working, but we should remove this. No message exists is not, it shouldn't be here, because now we have message.